Now you're probably thinking, Matthew, why is your first video essay about films from the X-Men franchise? Well, when it comes to these two scenes, it's because I enjoy them. Of all the action set pieces from the 2010s, and there have been plenty of good ones, these two probably fill me with the most overall glee. But why do I enjoy them so much?
If you hadn't worked it out already, that's the whole point of this video.
Well, the first reason I think is they're so easy to understand. In both scenes, the filmmakers preserve the screen direction to help us understand what's going on. In the kitchen scene, it's simplest. He moves in a circle entirely from left to right. The circular design of the room helps this too. It's a bit of a weird shape for a room, but it's pretty easy for us to understand the idea of going around in a circle. So in turn, it's pretty easy for us to understand the scene. The mansion scene works a little different. Here we move from inside the house to the garden. But if we're being realistic, the fastest way to get people out of a rectangular building would probably be to use all four sides. But for the sake of simplicity, we only have one direction and one destination: the back garden. Unlike the first scene, the motion here goes in any direction, but motion towards the garden and out of harm's way is always towards the camera, like this, or away from the camera, like this. Whilst Quicksilver's movements around the house, however, are done entirely laterally, from side to side. Whilst other action set pieces, such as the ones directed by Michael Bay, rely on quick cuts and a shaky camera, everything here is silky smooth. This is partly achieved by using another technique that Bay uses, the time ramp, where certain moments are sped up or slowed down as is necessary to sell the moment. Zack Snyder does this too, but these two directors tend to do it to give moments an epic feel, whilst here it's used for pacing and making sure that the beats land at the right moment. It's also used to sell Quicksilver's abilities and the fact that were this happening in real time, everyone would be dead. Something else that makes these scenes so easy to understand is the presence of clear threats and clear goals. In the first scene, it's an army of security guards and bullets creeping closer to our heroes' faces. Simple goal: disable guards, stop bullets. In the mansion, it's different again. There's an explosion and everyone needs to get out. This is easily understood, and problems such as someone being higher than he can reach so he has to climb are easily communicated in just a few shots. Now, this idea of simple goals and simple threats helps the scene remain self-contained. The goal is set up at the start, we show them achieving the goal and overcoming the threats, then the scene ends. Whilst we're talking about keeping the scene contained, both scenes start with a noise which we can hear slow down to the point of stopping. Xavier's admittedly quite cheesy screaming of no, and the car careening past. Both of these give us a sort of aural clue as to what's going on. Since we're on board with the scene, and it's so easy to understand, we can spend more time laughing at the jokes and appreciating the whole humour of the sequence. Every beat in both scenes is basically structured like a joke, with a classic setup and payoff. These are simpler in the first scene. This works because all of the payoffs are different. It's like having a joke where the setup is the same every time, but there are a dozen different punchlines that are all hilarious. However, it's not sustainable. If the scene were any longer than it was, we'd get bored because the setups are all the same. The mansion scene is longer, therefore needs more variety, such as this boy with a stupid haircut, throw away the comb, lick the hands, payoff. Exploding fish tank, empty vase, payoff. One student's trying to kiss another student who evidently doesn't like him, there's another payoff there. One of the most entertaining things about these scenes is that they both end with a quick fire reminder of every single joke that was told in the past couple of minutes. These act as a second payoff and use the entirety of the first joke as their setup. The final thing that I think works fantastically about these is that it's not just a series of well-structured jokes. They're character studies. In both scenes, without a single word being said, we know the following about Quicksilver. He's absent-minded, he's childish, he's a kleptomaniac, he loves music, he's a foodie, and he finds himself hilarious. So yeah, these films might have already been forgotten, and they'll likely never be remembered like Citizen Kane or 2001. But if you're looking for sheer entertainment value and clear storytelling, Quicksilver's got you covered. And if we're being honest, why do we go to films at all if not to see entertaining stories well told? Hello, so this is a bit of a new thing for me, doing video essays and stuff. Like I said, it's the first one I've ever done. So if you liked it, please do leave a like or comment or something just to let me know, so maybe I can do more of these. If you want to hear me talking about film some more, there's a playlist of videos I've done down there where I talk about film, not in this style, but some of them are okay, I think. And then if you click down there, that'll take you to what YouTube thinks you want to watch on my channel. Don't know if you actually want to watch it, but that's YouTube's opinion.